Now reporting, George Stephanopoulos.
Good afternoon. We're coming on the air right now because a tentative deal to address Iran's nuclear program has been reached in Switzerland between the United States, Iran, and 5 other nations right now. It's just been announced by the foreign minister of the European Union, Federica Mogherini, and she said that the agreement has been to reach the parameters of solutions and that a final deal will now be drafted. That was preceded by a tweet from the Secretary of State, John Kerry, who says this is a big day. EU P5-1 and Iran have parameters to resolve major issues on the nuclear program. Back to work soon on a final deal. Also, the president of Iran, Hassan Rouhani, has also issued a tweet saying that they have reached solutions on these key parameters on the Iran nuclear program. It will also address the lifting of sanctions on Iran as well. I want to go to ABC's chief foreign correspondent, Terry Moran, who's been covering the negotiations in Lausanne. Terry, what do you know?
Well, George, both sides are describing this as a win-win, as they naturally would after having missed a couple of deadlines. But the key here is, what did Iran really want in this negotiation? They wanted the sanctions lifted right away. And what the EU chair just said was that is going to happen. What did the U.S. really want? Strict limits on Iran's ability to turn its nuclear programs into weapons. And that is going to be the source of debate. What you see in this agreement so far is that the U.S. and allies did succeed in limiting Iran's nuclear programs in several key ways, but it will be an open question to see if it satisfies the many skeptics, the critics of these talks, conservatives in Washington, and, of course, Prime Minister Netanyahu in Israel. What we can expect to hear from the United States is that this is the best way to bind Iran's nuclear programs, making sure they don't go into weapons, primarily with very tough inspections, reductions of those programs, and a 10-year limit on this deal. That is essentially what we're going to hear.
That's what we're going to hear from Secretary Kerry. President Obama also expected to address this later today. You mentioned the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He's already tweeted on this as well. He said that any deal must significantly roll back Iran's nuclear capabilities and stop its terrorism and aggression. So the question will be, did this deal simply freeze Iran's program or roll it back? As we